All right. So here we are. It's been a while. And I decided, since I already have the plancha on here, and I was set up from last night where I was using Wagyu beef tallow in order to make, I guess, instead of calling it like steak fried chicken, well, actually, that's what it was. Instead of chicken fried steak, it was steak fried chicken. I had Wagyu beef tallow that I ended up putting on my plancha, and then I breaded some pork chops. Excuse me, I breaded some chicken cutlets, and then I fried those in the Wagyu beef tallow. So I had all this tallow left over anyway, so I figured for the kids, I'll make them some French fries. They're still inside having leftovers from last night, but I'm in the mood for pork chops. Friday night, why not? You know, the weekend's about to start. I got myself an ice cold, refreshing Miller latte. So why not go live? I'm going to take the pork chops, season it up, and put that on my left side, which is just my grates. Let's see if you can see that. That'll bring it in. So this is just the grates on this side. And on the other side, I've got some Wagyu beef tallow that's left over on the plancha. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the French fries in that Wagyu beef. Let's get started here. Bring this camera. Yes, maybe we can do it right here. Let's see how that looks. Yep, we'll go ahead and set that up right here. And quite simply, we've got the French fries to put on in a couple of minutes. Right now, got myself a nice pork chop. Yes, I'm going to reuse this pan. And I'm going to be using tonight the Boar's Night Out White Lightning double garlic butter. This stuff is not only amazing on steak, it's absolutely amazing on a pork chop. So that's why I'm going to use that. I've got myself my tasting fork, a flipper right here with some holes in it to be able to get those French fries off when we're done. And thank you to Al Lunacy for sending me over this knife. This is very convenient. This is a great knife for outside for barbecuing, not only for opening up packages, but also for that chef's taste where you can just cut a little piece off. So I brought that out here as well. So this is one of those double cut pork chops that I got over at Master Purveyors. Got many, many, many of these that are sitting in my freezer. So why not use one tonight? Got my paper towels out here too. So I'm going to pat this dry a little bit. Not wearing gloves because I'm eating tonight. No need for the fancy gloves, except when I'm working on the grill. Go ahead and pat that down a little bit. I'll have to get rid of this because I don't want that bleeding all over the place. And I'm simply going to take my seasoning, go ahead and put that over the top. And then flip it over, do the same thing, and get that right onto our Smokeslinger. So I'm rocking out the Smokeslinger tonight at about 375. Let's listen for that sear. Well, maybe it's not hot enough yet. We'll bring that in. And I also want to get the French fries in this picture. You can definitely see that fire raging real nicely. I've got both of the fire boxes going. And yeah, I've got my Liberty 94 in the background as well. So let's get some French fries. Hopefully that thing's good and hot. This side, it says we're still rocking out. Oh, I think I should probably get that hotter. I didn't bother to take the charcoal pan that I had yesterday and put it on top of the tuning plates. I actually cleaned this up a little bit beforehand. But let's give it a shot. Hopefully, you get a little bit of a sizzle. Let's see what we get. Yeah, we're getting the sizzle all right. This is for the kids. They love their French fries. And for those people in the Facebook chat that have mentioned, maybe it would be a better idea to use a cast iron pan and put that on here so that we don't have a grease fire. I have the drain right here. And because of the way that the driveway is pitched, all of my beef towels have flown down into the corners. So there's no risk of the grease getting into the drain and then having a grease fire. And what I'm thinking about now, maybe you might even do a reverse sear with that pork chop afterwards and throw it right here in the beef tallow and fry it off so that it gets a nice crisp outside. That's the end of those. Time for another trip to Costco. Get those in there real good, sitting in the tallow. Line them up. Delish. We'll go ahead and close this up so that we can keep the heat nice and hot. And let me tell you, I love this Smokeslinger. It's an amazing cooker. And when you think about it, the flexibility by having the planches in here gives me the accessibility to, on one side, be able to do that frying, and on the other side, be able to use it as a grill. I have the fireboxes tonight loaded up with wood. I'm using just some local white oak and red oak that we have available. I do have some of the pecan and post oak and hickory, some of the other woods that we brought in from places like, let's see what we have out here. We've got some Butler wood. I believe here we have some cutting edge firewood. So lots of wood to be able to purchase from places like in Georgia and Texas. And I like to use many of those when I'm using my Smokeslinger Liberty 94 offset. Those 14-inch splits, those 16-inch splits fit perfectly right there in my firebox for those nice low and slow cooks. And they do work very well here in the Smokeslingers when I'm doing my hot and fast and low and slow cooks. Tonight I decided I'll just use a couple of pieces of charcoal just to get the fire going, and then I cheaped out. Let's instead of opening up another bag of charcoal, I've got all this local wood that was delivered here anyway. I might as well use that up. It's great heat, adds great flavor. So we're going to go for it. Let me take another look, because it doesn't really take all that long for French fries to cook. Let's see what we got here. Those are sizzling off nicely. They only take a couple of minutes. Pork chop, on the other hand, that's going to take a while. Even at 350, 400 degrees, there's no rush. If anything, it's a good time to crack open that Miller latte. Have a sip, enjoy. So the kids really love these Costco French fries. They love their taste. Over the last couple of days, we've been playing around with some of the other cookers. There's a new one that's here. I did put a very brief video of it out. There will be more hype, more coming about what it is. If you have a family, if you have kids, it's definitely the type of item you want, especially when you want to be able to pump out whatever this food is every 90 seconds. Something that's great for the kids. It gets them involved. It gives them the opportunity to use manual dexterity, to be able to taste different seasonings, to be able to build their own cuisine, let's just say. Something that kids enjoy. More than French fries, but one of those other things that fit into that kid food group where they want chicken nuggets, French fries, and fill in the blank. But what this item is and what it can do, instead of taking, say, 4 hours to get up to heat, I can get it done in a half hour, which is a huge time saver, especially when you have kids. And the other items that you can make in there, more unique than just what the kids will eat, that's coming soon. You'll find out about that. I almost feel like I should give it away, but I'm not going to do it. We got to keep a few things sacred. Cooking in beef tallow, sure as some of the people in the older generation, my age and older, there was a time that some of our larger fast food chains would use beef tallow to make their French fries and other items. These days, they tend to use vegetable oil or canola oil or other substitutes, but I believe that natural animal fats like this Wagyu beef tallow are making their way back. You see it a lot more in the barbecue communities. You're seeing it more often now in your grocery stores, even Costco's and Sam's Club, BJ's. They're all starting to carry beef tallow in one form or another, whether it's in a spray or it's in a can or it's in a glass jar. So it's great to be able to enjoy with my kids what I used to know as a kid, um, French fries in beef tallow. Just an amazing flavor that you get out of these. And if you're not making French fries, well, again, chicken nuggets are just as good. And those chicken cutlets last night that I breaded up, unbelievable. Over some spaghetti with some homemade marinara. We opened up a nice, what did we have last night? A Brunello di Montepulciano. Delicious, delicious glass of red wine. We give us a couple more minutes. Maybe we'll just move it around a little bit. Not that it's necessary, because technically some of these are truly submerged, while others are basking. They just have a toe in the water. But we'll move them around nonetheless. This is one. Hopefully you can hear that. I'll get a little closer. Maybe not the smartest move to put my face this close to the oil, but we got to do it for the Facebook and the Instagram and the YouTube viewers and anybody else who's going to watch us on a replay. They got to hear that noise. That's ASMR therapy right there. Smokeslinger. I'll throw another piece of wood onto this side, or maybe just take a look. I want to get that fire raging. And these are those barbecue freedom gloves that give you the opportunity. See if you can get a look at that. I'm going to do this. Bring in just a little bit closer to the firebox. And what these gloves give you the opportunity to do is to reach in there and actually grab the logs. But open this door as much as possible so you can see what I'm doing. And you can see I still have this nice log right here. Another log sitting here. I'm going to throw that one on. Definitely have a good coal bed. We want the oxygen to be able to flow through the opening. And here we go. Fire starting immediately. Very nice. Let's get that going. Push it back in. These are great gloves. These give me the opportunity to not only grab that hot charcoal pan, but also grab the embers, grab the wood, grab the charcoal. Anybody can grab the piece of wood that's sitting on the side, but that hot piece of wood, this is really where that comes into play. Let's angle it back. I need a cameraman. So let's see what we got going on here. Anybody in the chat? Let's see what we got here. Any comments? Anybody chatting away? Nope, can't see anything. Well, I'm sure there's somebody out there in YouTube, Facebook, Instagram world. Now, what makes this Smokeslinger unique is it's a traditional pit barbecue. So when you go back and you think about Texas pits, this is what they used to work with. Even, I hear this a lot. I heard it today when I was getting a delivery. The three gentlemen that were here looked at it and they go, wow, you took a job box and you turned it into a cooker. Well, it's unique in that it looks like a job box. However, It's very similar to those traditional Texas pits that you would see where they're built your block or they're even built of steel. And they're in a permanent installation where there'll be a counterweight and a chain that helps to lift the cover. This was the way to go. Before briskets were the big thing, it was all about those beef shoulders, the pulled beef shoulders, the slow roasted beef shoulders. And this is that type of cooker. Whereas when we look at our low and slow offset, this is something that you really got to baby. If I'm going to do a brisket or something, I know I need to set aside at least 12 hours for this plus the rest time. Whereas with the Smokeslinger, I can do that same thing and wait 12 hours, but I can go hot and fast on this and in 8 hours have that same brisket done. So it's a time saver. And it's not that I enjoy one more than the other, but for that Friday night cook where I just want to throw some pork chops on, I can use this as a grill. I can use it as a fryer. I can use this as a Santa Maria cooker. I can use this as a traditional offset or reverse flow offset. I can go direct heat, indirect heat using the 8 tuning plates that this comes with, and then determine how many plates I want to have in. Tonight I have 6. I've got 3 on this side that are, well, yesterday rather, they're still set up that way. There were 3 on this side that were holding the charcoal pan, and then there's 3 on this side that are spread out so that some of the heat is diffused, but most of that direct heat and a little bit of the radiant heat are coming up because I want the flames to enjoy the grease that's dripping down. And those grease drippings, as they go and they hit the tuning plates, will sizzle and come back up. And some of the other grease will get right down there onto the coals and stoke the fire. And that smoke comes right back up and infuses into the meat, along with the smoke that I'm using tonight from the wood. So rather than going with lump charcoal or what I'm using tonight simply to get the fire going was this B&B char logs. This is great stuff. I use this quite often. I just use a little bit of it just to get my charcoal bed going, and then I put my wood splits on top. So really at this time, as you saw beforehand, the coal bed, the majority of it is built upon the wood splits that I had in. I'm just going to keep feeding it wood. Same thing with this side. There was, on the right side, there was just a couple of pieces of the char log and then straight to the wood split. So both sides technically are completely wood fired tonight using splits, even though it was in the beginning a hybrid model of a mix of both. It's not necessary to do that. If you use your Texas torch, or rather your Texas match that I have sitting right here, you're able to light up your logs, and once those are going, put one log on top of the other. But I wanted to just get a good coal base going, so I went with that B&B char log, a product that I really enjoy. Let's take a look at these French fries again. I think we're getting closer. As a matter of fact, we might even be done with these. They've got some good golden brown color. They don't really crisp up until you take them out of the oil. It would be a good idea. On the fly, good thing I have some paper towels out here. Get some paper towels to put inside this metal pan. That way it'll absorb some of this grease. And yes, for those that are going to ask, yeah, not only am I going to have the French fries in here, but yes, I'll be putting the pork chops in it as well. So we're going to get these French fries off. We'll let those crisp up a little bit as they're sitting there on the paper towel. Then I'll get another paper towel over the top just to blot them down. Then, as that pork chop cooks, we'll come back to it, and I'll definitely cut myself off a piece before I bring it all inside. Or I might just bring these French fries into the kids right now. And then I'm done with them. Then I can enjoy more of my own free time out here, having a nice cold beer and sitting here fireside with my Smokeslinger. And I'll tell you, been getting phone calls from people. They want to know what the next big thing is that's coming out from Smokeslinger. I'm not going to tell you. You can keep asking. You're not going to get it out of me. But there is, you know what? There's one item. One. No, you know, I'm not going to give it away. I almost did it. I'm going to keep it a surprise. Not just yet. Let's see how this pork chop is doing. I don't think it's ready to flip just yet. No, not yet. We'll leave it. Come back to it. I'm going to bring these fries in, and I'll be right back out. You put a paper towel over the top and blot some of that oil too. Maybe have a taster. Why not? Look at this. Delicious. Hot. Wow. Oh my goodness. French fries and beef tallow. It's hugging my heart right now. That is so good. Look at these. Look at this. I stay out here with them. I'm going to eat them and the kids aren't going to get to them. I'm going to bring this into the kids. And I'll be right back out. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm back. The monsters, my little monsters rather, are inside devouring French fries and whatever else they're eating. But there's a big hit. Making French fries on the plancha using the Wagyu beef tallow, big success. And for frying other things. And for making, like tomorrow, this is going to come up every Saturday and Sunday as long as the weather cooperates. The planchas are great for bringing the kids out, making pancakes, eggs, bacon, sausage, all those things you make on a flat top. And then for when the adults come over and you want to, you have one too many sake bombs, one too many Sapporos. Next thing you know, it's hibachi night, and you're flipping things around, and you got the onions going, and it's just the way that it goes, Even at you're in your mid 40s, early 50s, you have a couple of drinks, and this becomes like a whole big party social area. That's why I got the tent out. Now that it's the summertime, instead of putting all the toys away, I leave them out here. I keep the tent up because I use them so often. The other thing is, and of course we call them planchas, which goes back to the whole Tex-Mex theory, is Taco Tuesday, doing the fajitas, doing your tortillas, doing all those items, which is big in California, big in Texas, other areas where there's a large Hispanic population. Up here in the Northeast, especially Pennsylvania and such, cheesesteaks. I did the video with Frank Cox a while back. We were there at the Smokeslinger fabrication warehouse in Kaufman, Texas. We made some cheesesteaks. And since I've been here, we've done cheesesteaks quite a few times. Very popular. Unfortunately, the neighbors don't come over. It'd be nice if they did. The only thing we get from the neighbors is a phone call to the fire department that they see smoke, but where there's smoke, there's fire. And this is simply in fuego. And yes, I did steal some of the kids' French fries for myself. That's the way it goes when you're a daddy. You get to get a little bit of everything. Let's see how this pork chop's going. I'm going to give it a flip. It definitely has some more color now. I'm going to bring in a bit closer so you can see this. Let's get that in there. So it has some great color right now. Let's see if am I able to zoom with this? No, I am not. So that means I got to get that much closer. So it has that nice pinkish reddish color, more reddish, and that's from the smoke. We'll give it a flip. There we go. Real nice. And I'm thinking that I may take this afterwards and move this over into the beef tallow just to fry it off at the end. I don't know. Let's try something different. In fact, put a little more seasoning on. Why not? Doesn't hurt. As we learned in the podcast, the last thing on is the first thing you taste. And I'm okay with that. Now let's back this up again. Here we go. Turn it. Nice. Yeah, because that's over there and I don't have the laptop set up, I have no idea who's been trying to communicate with me. But we'll take a look. Let's see what we got here. I don't know if we should check the Facebook or if we should check the YouTube. We'll check the YouTube, see if anybody's on that one. Love it. No, nothing works. Why would it? Wouldn't make sense if I wanted it to work. It's only going to take a few moments longer. That'll be ready. I just need to get it cooked to a certain temperature. Wow, these are crunchy. Can we get some ASMR on here? Let's see. No. We need that audio engineer. Let's see. I heard that. I put some seasoning on here. Same stuff you find at Red Robin that they leave on the table. I didn't steal it. We bought it. At least that's the story I'm sticking with. Good stuff. Post some comments, questions. You wouldn't believe what this is like when you're here all by yourself and you don't have a videographer, you don't have an audio tech. You've got to do everything. There's no laptop, so I can't see the questions coming in or any comments. Oh, that is good. Nope, nobody in the YouTube land. Incredible.
I'm curious about Guy. We'll see more of him in Lanterns, but
nope. We're all
I'm
alone.
curious about Guy. We'll see more of him in.
Nobody. Tempted to show off this cooker, but maybe not the best idea. I think it's premature for me to do that. So if you have any questions, any comments, go ahead. Drop them in. I turned up the volume on the other phone, so that way I can see if anything comes in. I think I'm only able to see what's on YouTube unless I'm jumping back and forth from one to the other. You all right? Nice. Looks like we got 2 viewers on here. Very nice. What are you cooking? All right, well, Dustin, I'm making French fries and pork chops. That's Dustin McCormick, also known as El Presidente. By the way, while El Presidente is busy, now is the time to get your Smokeslinger full-size El Presidente edition. It comes fully loaded, every option. 8-inch casters, custom nameplate on the front. You get the 2-piece split planches, the counterweight that goes on the back. Everything is included. It's the El Presidente edition. He's too busy down there in Texas. It's too hot for him. He can only work from 6 to 1 or 6 to 2. So while he's sweating it out, we're going to have a sell-a-thon for a limited time only. You can get yourself, as a membership in the club, a Royal Throne seat with the El Presidente edition of the Smokeslinger. Let's see if he's really here or not. Nope, he probably took a nap. It's late in the day. Over here, it's already 10 to 8. So by him, it's 10 to 7. So I'm sure he's exhausted. He's been up since early this morning. It's a lot hotter in Texas than it is here. I'm dealing with 85-degree weather. And Murphy's Law that seems to come into play every time I cook. Something doesn't go right. Whether it's the weather or it's something else that comes up, phone calls, emails, text, who knows? And it disturbs my enjoyment of cooking, my relaxation time, my hobby. Should have stole more French fries from these kids. Good snack. And great seasoning. Let's see what we got here. It's looking nice. I think we'll take that knife. Just give it a, we'll take a little bit of a taster piece right here. Let's just see how we're looking. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. Let's do this one for the gram. See if you can see that. I don't want to lose this piece falling off. It is burning hot. You got a piece? You getting a look at that? You seeing that? Oh my goodness. It's hot. I'm going to throw it in the deep fryer anyway. I'm going to put it in the tallow. Wow. What a great cook. Here we go. And yes, it's necessary. You just ding things, or else same thing with clicking the tongs. If you don't do that, then the barbecue gods get involved and screw everything up. You must bang things. I have no idea what's going to happen now. I don't want to overcook it. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes on each side. Probably not even a couple of minutes. Maybe about a minute on each side. And of course, like the individual that I am, why would I bother to bring a plate out here? So I'll be bringing this thing in, scorching hot, from the oil on paper towels. No, I'm not going to do that. Nope. Nope. We're going to figure this thing out. We're going to MacGyver it. Still going with paper towels. So we're going to go paper towels and cotton line gloves. All right, let's go ahead and flip that over. It's glistening. That's to be expected from all the grease. Can you see that? Oh, you can. There you go. So here's a live example of another use of using a plancha is you're able to put your cooker on an angle. Actually bring it in even closer. There goes the tripod. We'll get that in there. No, see, we'll get it in. There we go. All right, so here's the hole where the grease would go through. Everything here is slanted. It's on an angle. So we have all the grease pooling right here. So there's no chance unless I take this and push the grease up towards the hole or any of this come down and flow onto my fire down below. I like this angle, and I don't like the angle at the same time. We've got Trumpet Master in the chat. Let them know that we're making those pork chops. In the tallow. I think those are just about, this is just about done. I don't want to overcook that. I do want to get that delicious flavor right there on that end where I cut it already. All right, I think it's time to cut it. Get the chef's piece. Look at that right there. Whew. Got to get me on here eating this. All right, so here it is. Delicious piece of pork. Tell you, it comes out really good when you fry it off. All right, I'm coming up with another one. Why don't I slice it into pieces and put all the pieces directly in the beef tallow? Keep adding more complexity to something that doesn't need to be that complex. Yeah, let's just go for it. Why not? I'm the one that's got to eat it anyway. Let's slice this thing off. We'll make more slices out of this pork chop. Put them directly into the tallow and fry them off. That way I need a double dose of lipitor, crestor, maybe a normal saline drip, probably baby aspirin, and well, whatever else that someone who's going to have a myocardial infarction will need. Delicious. Let's do it. Let's just slice it up. We'll get it right off the bones. We'll throw these chunks right into the grease and let it fry off. These deep fried pieces of pork. That's a thick piece. Now I'm not regretting putting these cotton liners on. That was a good idea. The ass piece right there. Cut that down. Whew. Then we'll cut it this way instead. so that I don't have to put my fingers directly into the grease every time I'm doing that, or onto the cooktop. Nicey nice. And the bone, well, we'll split it. Whew. Why not? This is so good. I'll give him a little bit of a flip. I don't want to dry him out. Now, I'm a sicko, but I'm not that sick that I'm going to reach into the hot and flip them. Or maybe I will. And then, got to do that move. I need that noise. Then what I'm thinking about doing, let me just dry them up a little bit. Moving them up this way, down to the hot planches. Give them a little bit of a sear. This is all an experiment. Don't think I've done this before. I have no idea. We're flying by the seat of our pants here. These little rib things right here. You got going on there. Mm. Yeah, those are delicious. Hot, but great. Mm. Nice. 2 more French fries to go, and those are gone. We'll go one more time. By this point, I think we're way past that condition where people will be worried about undercooked pork and ringworm and trichinosis and whatever other medical concerns that can come out of undercooked pork. Of course, I still never went and got a plate or anything, so it is what it is. All right, let's give it one more taste, and I'm bringing this in. Let's get a nice little piece right here. Take this one. I'm going to regret this because it just came off the plancha. Oh, yeah. Gone are the taste buds if we do this, because that is sizzling. Let's get a little piece. Delicious.
It's awesome. Woo. Mm. I love it. All right. Bringing this in, having another ice cold refreshing beverage. My wife was nice enough to go out, pick up my margarita mix. So I'm going to go, after having that ice cold refreshing beverage, pour myself a margarita with extra tequila tonight and just take it easy. It's Friday. The weekend's here. It's time to unwind. Where's the party? It's right here. It's right here. We'll see you in the next one.